Heat fans, I want to make sure you are subscribed because the trade rumors are already flying off surrounding your Miami Heat. So stay locked in with us. We got a month to go until the NBA trade deadline, so make sure you are subscribed. I'm Nic Rohloff of the Heat Report, and let's get into today's video. We've talked about Tyus Jones at length, but do the Heat actually have interest in Mr. Jones over in the Capitol? Well, an NBA analyst actually hinted at the Heat wanting Tyus Jones. Who is that NBA analyst? None other than Jimmy Butler's girlfriend, Rachel Nichols. What did she say exactly? Well, she was on a podcast with DeMarcus Cousins, which we'll get to in just a bit as well. And she said, watch for Tyus Jones, too. He's an interesting name around the Heat. And what have I been saying over the past month? Well, the Heat should trade for Tyus Jones, and he's someone that I think should represent the Heat in the 305 because what he brings to the table is something that the Heat desperately need. And he's my number one trade target at this point. I kind of said that on the video yesterday about point guard trade targets. I'm all in on Tyus Jones, but I think it's official. He's my number one guy. If the Heat aren't going to swing big and make a deal for like a DeJounte Murray, I know a lot of you guys will comment about Donovan Mitchell, but he is not being dealt at this deadline. I think so in the offseason, but at least not during this regular season. So when you think about an actual player that is attainable, that won't cost an arm and a leg, well, Tyus Jones is your guy. Because this year for Washington, he's been terrific. At time of filming, he's been very consistent. 36 games played, so he's not missing a lot of time, which is something Miami really needs, considering that Butler's been out of the lineup for a lot this year. So has Jimmy. I already said Jimmy. So is Bam. So is Tyler. And now Kyle Lowry has that sprained wrist. He's given you 5.5 assists a night while shooting 53% from the field and 44% from three. Tyus Jones is your guy. And I know a lot of people might say, well, he's undersized. He's a small, thin point guard. Kyle Lowry's small, and he's still starting right now, so the size is about the same, and Tyus Jones is better offensively and is actually willing to go out and run in transition and throw good passes rather than Kyle Lowry running in transition and throwing hospital balls to Bam and Jimmy that I think leads to significant injury. One hasn't really happened, but Lowry just lobs the ball from half court trying to throw a highlight play alley-oop, and it just puts our guys in harm's way. So do you want to trade for Tyus Jones? Type T for trade, type P for pass. It's today's pinned comment, so let me know what you guys think in the comment section after this YouTube ad break. All right, but Jones, by the way, is also an advanced shooter. He can really do stuff that Kyle Lowry has been able to show that he's able to do it, but I just think Tyus Jones is just way better, right? 10 feet from the basket or less, 62.5%. Doesn't go there often, only 4 attempts a night, but it's more than Kyle Lowry. Like, Lowry does not attack the paint whatsoever. And one of the things that I love my guards to do, and Tyler Hero has done a better job of it, but what is the key to getting open shots on the perimeter? Well, they've got to be obviously open, but how do they get open? By drawing the defense in. If your point guard is able to get inside the paint to the area, that will draw only more defenders inside, which allows you to kick out and then reverse the ball. And guess what? You have an open three-point shot, which the Heat are one of the best three-point shooting teams in the NBA when you look at what Tyler's done. Kevin Love has been terrific. You have Jaime, Duncan Robinson. Like, they've all been shooting the ball very well from three. And you look at a playmaker like Tyus Jones, who has a 6.4 assist-to-turnover ratio, which is one of the best of all times, if not the best. He originally had a record when it was still at 7 assist-to-turnover ratio. It's gone down a little bit, but it's only natural. It's still elite, though. I mean, Tyus Jones can run an Eric Spoelstra-led offense. The defensive smartness and the IQ is there. There is no downside to bringing Tyus Jones to Miami, and I don't even think it's to be the backup anymore. I think if you make a deal for Tyus Jones, Kyle Lowry is being sent to Washington, and then Tyus becomes your starting point guard, and I think it's a marginal upgrade, but it's an upgrade. And I'm starting the hashtag get Tyus to Miami. There's a lot of T's in that hashtag, but I'm starting it. If you're with me, spam hashtag get Tyus to Miami in the comments section. And also, if you tweet hashtag get Tyus to Miami, tag me in it, and I'll retweet it as well. My Twitter is Nic_Rohloff. Let's get this going so Pat Riley can see it and get Tyus Jones to the 305 to pair up with Bam Adebayo so they can run a nasty pick and roll. And before we do finally move on, by the way, Tyus Jones, Daniel Gafford, who's another trade target I want, are top 10 in points per possession on the specific pick and roll. They're one of the most effective pick and roll duos in the NBA. Tell me it wouldn't be even better with Bam and Tyus Jones? Come on now. Hashtag get Tyus to Miami. Coming up, John Wall to the Miami Heat. Yeah, that is something that really was thrown out there by a former NBA legend. We've talked about in the offseason. I guess we have to revisit it. But before we do, got to show some love to Factor Meals. Y'all know how much I love Factor, and I want to make sure you all get the 50% off and start using Factor in the new year. It is the best American ready-to-eat meal delivery service, and it will get you set up for your resolutions in 2024. Ready-to-eat meal delivery takes the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for success in the new year. Skip the grocery stores, prep work, cooking fatigue. Instead, get the chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door that are ready to eat after just 2 minutes in the microwave. Factor now offers loads of snack options as well, like breakfast, smoothies, juices, and more snacks to keep you going no matter what's on the schedule. Skip the overpriced takeout trap. Factor is cheaper and way more delicious than takeout. Get chef-crafted, restaurant-quality meals delivered right to your door. They're ready to heat and eat in just 2 minutes, which means more time for you. So head to factormeals.com/NBAchat50 and use code NBAchat50 to get 50% off. That's code NBAchat50 at factormeals.com/NBAchat50. Get that 50% off today. That link will be clickable in the comments and description of today's video. All right, John Wall to the 305. Is it possible the former NBA All-Star, well, one of his teammates back in their Kentucky days over in Lexington, DeMarcus Cousins, said the Heat should sign John Wall. This was also the same podcast that Rachel Nichols talked about Tyus Jones. Cousins said, as far as the Heat needing a point guard, I could see Spencer Dinwiddie filling that role. Malcolm Brogdon is another option. For some reason, this name just came into my head. Well, I know why it came into your head, DeMarcus. It's because he told you to say it, and you guys are best friends. But John Wall is just sitting at home. I think he fits the Heat great. John Wall is perfect for that role. Well, Wall's still a free agent. He did host a workout a month ago alongside Austin Rivers that the Heat did attend. Obviously, they did not like John Wall enough to sign him on the spot. But Wall has been in and out of NBA rotations the 4 seasons leading up to this year. Last season with the Clippers, he only played in 34 games before getting released. Wasn't the best. Was averaging double-digit points per game, but it's because he was just jacking with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George out. And you could see when he was jacking those shots up, the efficiency wasn't there. He obviously missed 2019 to 2020 with that Achilles injury. He came back in 2021 and played for the Rockets, and just like his days with the Clippers, he was very inefficient and only scored the 20 points per game based off volume on a Rockets team, which was ending up with the worst record in all of basketball, in case you didn't know that, and then did not play in the 21-22 season, so he's played very limited games over the past 4 years, not even 82 games. So I don't know if Wall would really be able to give you a lot of meaningful minutes coming off the bench, but hey, maybe you guys disagree. Be the GM for me. Would you sign John Wall to be this team's backup point guard behind Kyle Lowry? Or hell, if Lowry's out for an extended period of time, maybe even fill in as a starter from time to time. Type Y for yes, type N for no. I'll be honest here. As much as he isn't wrong. Let's just say this. DeMarcus Cousins is not wrong about the Heat needing a point guard. I just don't know if John Wall is the correct answer. But like I mentioned, the point guard position absolutely needs to be addressed. Lowry's in the final year of a 3-year, $90 million deal. And I just think an expiring deal like Lowry's that is $29 million, if that doesn't get moved, you're wasting an asset. And when I say asset, I really do mean an asset. Like, you don't understand, and you might understand, but you might not. So if you don't understand, let me explain it to you. Expiring contracts that are that high priced, like Lowry's, are very valuable inside the NBA. Just look at what the Lakers did last NBA trade deadline. They turned around their entire roster by sending away expiring contracts paired up with a first-round pick, and they got valuable players. So moving on from Lowry, maybe attaching one of your tradable first-round picks or a pick swap to Lowry's expiring deal can net you a really good player and a role player. Maybe it be Tyus Jones. Doubt it's Malcolm Brogdon, as he mentioned in that quote as well, because they'd have to deal with Portland again. Spencer Dinwiddie, I'm not sold on Dinwiddie either. But I think Lowry in a pick swap or just a flat-out first-round pick that's protected can really get you someone that impacts this Heat roster to a higher level, whether it be a center, whether it be a guard like Tyus Jones. There are so many players that are going to be available on the trade market that would be able to come in and impact this Heat team and potentially get them over the top. Who's going to be the Andre Iguodala and Jay Crowder that gets into this Heat locker room and gives them juice to finish off the season strong and help with the playoff push like they did in the bubble during that 2019-2020 season? Maybe it is a Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith combination. Maybe there's other guys out there like a Tyus Jones, Daniel Gafford combination. But who are going to be the guys that aren't superstars, aren't even stars, but they come into this Heat locker room and provide some meaningful minutes and give a jolt to this Heat lineup that has already shown it can compete with the best teams in the NBA. But I just would like some insurance and some more pieces to the puzzle to get Miami over the hump into the finals for the third time in 5 years and potentially win a championship. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to have these rumors covered better than anyone else. So as we are inching closer and closer to the NBA trade deadline, make sure you're locked in to everything Miami Heat and subscribe to the channel. We also go live multiple times a week for Heat watch parties. We'll be live later today if you're watching this on Wednesday against the Oklahoma City Thunder. So subscribe and join us for that watch party and stay locked in on all Heat trade rumors.